building approvals. Now, we're last year it was 173. So 72 million, that's a substantial amount of activity going on, economic activity going on in this municipality.
Councillor Andrews.
Can I ask probably the Acting General Manager about 2.3, the matters awaiting decisions by TASCAT? We've got two outstanding ones that we've been waiting since they've all been resolved in February and March, and we still haven't got anything back from TASCAT. Is that unusual for the wait to be that long?
I'll pass that on to Paul, but no, I don't think it's unusual.
Can you do about it?
Not really. I mean, I contact our lawyer regularly to see how that's going, but it really is just it's a matter of we have to wait for TASCAT to give out their decision.
Any further questions from anybody?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Paul, so they don't have 42 days to respond?
No, they're on their own. They've got their own time frames under their legislation, which is, not 42.
I'll put, yes, I'll put the recommendation. All those in favour? Against? Carried. So 13.2 is the targeted consultation submission, Tasmanian Planning Scheme changes regarding the medium density housing. Do you wish to speak about it, Erin?
The submission is relatively self-explanatory and responds to the consultation questions. Note that this is targeted consultation aimed at council level, and that these changes will go through an amendment process which will go through further consultation at a public level. The majority of the changes proposed won't have a great impact as they're zones or codes that we sort of don't utilise, but certainly changes to car parking and also changes to the general residential zone may have significant impacts on housing density in our areas, and we also need to be aware of any issues they may have in terms of substitutions with our specific area plans for each of our townships that currently deal with density of multiple dwellings.
So we need a mover and a seconder, then Councillor Terrett and Councillor Andrews had her hand up before. You're happy to second it, Councillor Andrews? Yes. Okay. Do you wish to? Actually, first of all, yes, Councillor Terrett.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the planner for putting this together. This is probably one of the most, if this goes ahead the way it is, this will have a huge impact to our planning in the Northern Midlands. It will see increased density and more infill going into some of our towns. Unlike those in Hobart or Central Launceston, we have unique towns which are of historical significance, and this will allow, regardless of what council says, the state government through the planning scheme to place some more pressures on our already overpressured areas. It doesn't address utilities, and that we're at capacity in some areas in Longford and Perth, and where already some of our sewage treatment works are now way in excess of its capacity and unlikely to be improved for another 10 years. This is probably should be ringing alarm bells to every resident who wants to see responsible planning in our areas, and I think it's I'm pleased that our council is putting in a submission, and I think it's something that all residents should be very aware of and continue to be very vigilant, because if these changes happen, places like Longford will have more dense residential housing, Perth and other towns will all be subject to increased density and more houses being built in an already tested area.
Councillor Andrews.
Yes, I too commend our officer on her submission in reply to this proposed planning scheme changes. I think that her answers to their questions were frank and well informed about our area. And this is another proposal from the state government to treat all municipalities the same, rural and metropolitan, and frankly the suggestions that are being put forward in this latest proposal have nothing to do with rural. They're all about what work and not work in metropolitan areas, and it's we need something that allows tailor-made framework for individual rural areas rather than metropolitan areas. So I was pleased to see the way we've responded to it.
Councillor Adams.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to add that, this is about density, about trying to get infill, so that there's less pressure on the utilities, on Taswater for water and sewage, and also maybe linking the energy stuff up as well. So this is really not dealing with the issues that are going to confront Tasmania's building future. And we have a housing crisis, and we're trying to build new houses. And I see over the weekend there was quite a fleur on that with Prime Minister and the Premier, and that might be all right in this dense area where they're talking about the old army barrack, the old army depot down by the Bowen Bridge. But in country towns, as Councillor Turrent has said, country towns are a bit different, and we need to be careful about not destroying their feeling and how they come. So I think, this isn't good planning. I think it's about state government realising it's got real pressure and not being prepared to tackle the utility issues that it should be trying to get on top of.
Any further discussion? I'll put the recommendation. All those in favour? Against? Carried. 13.3 is a policy update.
Excuse me, Mayor,
Oh, beg your
can I
pardon.
just move to have that held over until after public question time, because I believe there was someone from the public who wanted to speak
Next one.
to the
Yes.
13.3.
Yes. And who would second? It was seconded. Have it held over. Councillor Terrett. All those in favour? Against? Carried. We'll talk about that later. So 14.1.
Declare an interest.
Yes. Did you get that? Okay, 14.1 is 96A Main Road, Perth. And we have a recommendation there from the council officers that council approve the establishment of the Perth Community Hub Management Committee as a special committee of council under section 24 of the Local Government Act, and include a provision of an annual maintenance fee as outlined in the management agreement, and endorse an annual refurbishment allocation of $75,000 for 3 years to stage the fit for purpose works required and manage.
Excuse me, Mayor, I've just been informed that there are some people here in the gallery that would like to speak to this in public question time.
Oh, so we should hold that over
So
as
I'm
well.
just wondering if I could
Yes.
indulge council to
Yes, I'm
hold that over.
No issue with that. No, fine. Okay, so Councillor Lambert and Councillor McCullough to hold over. I'll put that recommendation. All those in favour? Against? Carried.
Thank you, Mayor. Might need to get councillor Terrett back.
Yes. Okay,
Mayor,
14.
I just need to get councillor Terrett back in the room.
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, we're moving now to 14.2, the Cressy Childcare Centre. Is there any community members that want to speak about that in public question time? No, we're right. Okay, we'll go ahead with this one. Bartholomew Park Draft Master Plan, Community Consultation Outcome. Now, we have a recommendation there that council incorporate the following changes to the Cressy Childcare Centre Bartholomew Park Draft Master Plan. A, installation of bollard lighting around Bartholomew Park. B, upgrade the existing barbecue area in place of the proposed new barbecue area. C, reconfigure the car park to position the entrance adjacent to the new walkway and the car park space adjacent to the new fence. And number 2, adopt the master plan in principle. So that I've just asked the officer, that covers off on all the things we talked about in the workshop? Yes. So I move her and a seconder, please. Councillor McCullough and Councillor Andrews. Councillor McCullough, do you wish to
Yes,
speak?
from what I've learned on this one tonight, and it's been a really, really good consultation process, and council should commend themselves. Seems well received by the community. There's been some really positive feedback. Council have adopted that feedback, adopted changes where necessary, and I think that's a great outcome for all.
Councillor Andrews.
Yes, I'm really pleased to see this here. I moved the motion to get it all going earlier on in last year. This is much needed, this expanded childcare centre at Cressy, and people have been crying out for an expanded childcare centre for couple of years now, so it's really good to see that we're on it and it's going to happen.
Any further discussion? Councillor Goss.
Yeah, I do support some of the motion, but I'm just still concerned about the entrance coming off opposite the IGA shop. There is talk about moving it near the walkway where the existing one is.
No, it was amending it from what the plan says to have the car parks near the fence, and then it comes in after that.
I'm not really sure, but from what I've seen of the project, it's still going to mean that the exit and entrance to the car park is going to be nearly directly across the road from the IGA. That area outside the IGA is the most, probably apart from the bakery, it's the most used area in the town for parking, most premium area for parking. Having cars coming out there, pulling out onto the main street, are going to make a difference. The people that did the plan for this, Midlands, I don't think they even looked at the parking there and the traffic going out onto the road. If the cars are parked there 24/7 all day, just about, not in the middle of the night, but all day when the shops are open, and pulling out onto the street would nearly be impossible out of that car park. I mean, having entrance off Church Street, it's a much lower traffic street. There's plenty of room, plenty of sight vision. Other cars don't park there. Yes, I did read the officer's comment that it's going to impact on some of the on the current what they proposed, but there's only a shed there. The shed that it's going to impact on, it's only moving taking the shed away and putting that somewhere else, and the car park area will be down there. It would disrupt the coming in off Church Street. Would disrupt the shed that they've got there, maybe for their child play gear. I don't know what it is. And maybe some of the park area, but it wouldn't disturb anything else. And I really do think that is the best place for it to be. Safer for the community, safer for parents going in and out with the kids, safe for the people using the shop, and safe for the people which are just going past the road and having cars pulling out. So I would like to see quite support A and B, but the entrance of the car park to be re-looked at, and if it needs redesigning, because we should be doing things which are safest for everybody, not doing things that an engineer has put forward to us and we say we can't change that because the drawing's there. So I'm not sure if the people support me what I'm saying, but I do think we need to look at it. And if they come back with a really safe traffic management plan about how it works out there on that street in front of IGA shop, well, I'll sit here and I'll support them 100%. But I don't believe you can get a safe plan there. When we look down at, we see it here at Longford. I know we're looking at a bigger IGA shop, but we all know that was a poor design. Here we are, we're going to do another poor design at Cressy. We haven't learned anything from Longford. So councillors, please learn from what we did at Longford, and please send that back to the engineers to look at it and see if they come up with a safer design.
Councillor Goss, I'll just let you know that the Works Manager explained to us with the map what was going to be happening there, but in his absence, could our Project Manager speak to it?
Yeah, there's some issues with draining stormwater from that lot, and obviously having the car park at the front, the stormwater can go out to the neighbouring street down the side where you're talking about coming off it. So it is better to drain the side down through there. Other options would be a detention basin in the rear of the lot, which were investigated but in the early stages, but not ideal, down that back there behind all the other residents. So having all the hard stand there, keeping as much of the existing building as possible to utilise that and to lower the costs, coming in off that main street, which is quite a considerable wide main street. The existing school does come off that, and the buses in front bit further south also. Obviously it acknowledged that it will create a little bit more activity around the IGA, because of people dropping their children off of a morning and in the afternoon at those heightened times.
I'll just speak to
Yes,
that.
you can.
I mean, just that the car park can be in the same place, just the entrance goes off Church Street. The only bit of extra drainage you got is the water going from the driveway in next to Church Street, which drains into Church Street. And the car park is exactly the same place, but instead of coming off the main street, you come off Church Street. And I do think they can possibly do that.
Excuse me, clarification, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Didn't we address this in the workshop and we agreed that the entrance to the car park off Church Street was going to be moved down Church Street?
No, off Main Street.
Off Main Street still, though.
We were talking about Main Street.
I didn't think, Mayor, we could make decisions in workshops.
We didn't.
No, we didn't. We just
We got information.
finished, Councillor Andrews?
Yeah.
Okay, Councillor Archer's next.
I'd say that in the workshop, we discussed having the car park on the edge of the property. The fall for drainage is to the main street. Obviously, I can agree with Councillor Goss that maybe outside the IGA is a very busy area, but the street is now, Main Road Crest is now 50 kilometres now. I think basically it is a situation where traffic will manage itself. We can't be spending a fortune redoing the whole site for the sake of the drainage. The detention basin can't be used because there's no drain from that. So I think we are restricted by the physical condition of the site, and the car park where it is, I believe, is the safest place to have a car park.
Councillor McCullough.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think comparing.
Sorry, you're thumbing up now. Was there anyone else who wishes to speak who hasn't spoken?
I just want to
Councillor
say,
Adamson.
yeah, I think keeping the cars on the edge of the block is better than having and people moving from the cars in. I think there's I don't know if there's 7 car spaces in that car park, so probably there'll be more than 7 movements per day, but I don't think that's an enormous amount. And I think the drainage issue, there's also, I understand, a hydro pole which you would have to shift as another cost if you change the way where traffic goes in and out. So I think they've endeavoured to get the best option possible here. Going on to another way, I can't see that, and I think you've got to manage it as you see best, and I think we can do that with that.
So anyone, Councillor Brooks?
Yeah, I tend to agree with Councillor Goss. If anyone's been through that area lately, there's a lot of traffic around the IGA. They're very hard to see, even getting out of there. So, you know, I think we could be creating an unsafe area there for traffic and people. So I'd like to see support what Councillor Goss has said, but I couldn't support this one.
Sorry, you've had to
All
say,
I'm asking
Councillor.
for is that get the engineers to look at it again, see if they can do anything. That's all I'm asking for.
Councillor McCullough, do you want to sum up?
Yeah, I tend to agree with Councillor Archer. I think it's in the right spot at this point in time. There's a couple of key ingredients that you need to understand, I think. One is there's only 7 cars comparative to the IGA at Longford, which has probably got 200. And the other thing is, it is our land, so if we want to review it in due course, it's not like having to go and force a private owner to do it. We can do it ourselves. So I think at this stage, I think it's okay.
All right, I'm going to put the recommendation. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Can you put your hand up, please? Councillor Brooks and Councillor Goss. The motion's carried. Okay, it's gone past 5:30, so we'll go back to public question time. And invite members of the public who don't have a question around the planning items. If you've got a question around something else that's not one of the planning items, now's the time. You just need to state your name and the town you live in, and you've got 3 minutes to make a statement. Yes.
Ben Childs of Perth. Good evening, councillors. Firstly, I'd like to thank council officers for the considerable work that has gone into the report regarding the Perth Community Hub. The support shown towards the establishment of the Perth Community Hub was deeply appreciated by the groups involved and by many members of the Perth community.
The project has been a long time in the making. It has involved years of discussion, planning, consultation and collaboration between the Perth Tasmania Historical Society and the Perth Community Progress Association, and by extension as well, Perth Lions. For many people in Perth, this is not simply about buildings, it is about finally creating a shared space that brings people together. I would ask councillors tonight to support the report in its entirety, including access to both the former police station and the residents from the outset. While I understand the intent behind potentially renting the residents during the refurbishment works, I genuinely believe that doing so would create a significant challenge for both the community hub and for any family placed into that position. The reality is that this site was originally, and still is, designed to function as a single connected space. The shared backyard is intended to be a community garden in collaboration with the Escaley Foundation, along with an outdoor activity area. The residence provides meeting and consultation space for volunteers, committee members and community groups. It also provides essential storage and operational flexibility while refurbishment works occur across the site. Importantly, the driveway servicing the residence is also a practical access point for larger museum exhibits and the items that need to be moved into the former police station. That means a residential tenancy and community operations would inevitably overlap and interfere with each other. But beyond the logistics, there is a human aspect to this. If a family were moved into the residence on what would ultimately become a temporary arrangement, there is a real risk of future disruption and distress when the community hub expands into the full site. Even if conditions were clearly written into a lease agreement, I do not believe anyone wants to create a situation where a tenant later feels displaced by a community project. I think I speak for everyone involved when I say that we'd like to avoid putting anyone into that position. The officer's report already recognises that the project is intended to be staged over several years, with refurbishment funding allocated progressively and responsibly. Allowing the hub to take possession of both buildings from the beginning gives the community groups the best opportunity to coordinate works efficiently, activate the site sooner, strengthen grant applications, and build momentum while community support is advised. Most importantly, it allows the community to finally begin the work that it has spent years preparing for. This proposal is not about exclusivity or preventing future flexibility. It is about giving a volunteer-led community initiative the best possible chance to succeed from day one. I respectfully ask councillors to support the officer's recommendation without dividing the site and allow the Perth Community Hub to move forward as a complete and connected community asset. Thank you.
Well done, exactly 3 minutes. Okay, is there any other members of the community who would like to speak?
Thank you. I'll just follow on from Ben with a few more points.
Say your name.
Sorry, Sue Field, sorry. If we were to have a tenant in the house, it would slow the process down, which is uneconomical because the boundary between the two buildings is so close. To be able to do things in the backyard, between the houses, would make you have to repeat the process rather than do it all in one go. If you're doing the gutters on one, why not do the gutters on both? So it's a case of economics as much as anything else. And once again, with the museum, a lot of things have to be brought in, have to be done. It's going to take a while, but in the meantime, we don't want to be just sitting around waiting for the police station to be converted. We want to get on with doing the job. And one of the things we are committed to do about doing that job is to actually start working with the community. So as soon as we get our lease arrangements in place, then we want to have a community meeting and consultation at the actual residence and use that as our base for volunteers, for the special committee to base itself and just have our materials there so that we can actually start talking to the community about what they want to happen in that hub. And so we need to be able to use it. We need to be able to start work on it, particularly the garden. Escaley is just ready to roll in and start working as soon as possible. And we also need to get the community signboard back up so that we can start communicating with the town and keeping the town fully informed on what we're doing and where we're going. So I encourage you to approve the recommendation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sue. Is there any other member of the community who would like to make a statement about something?
Yeah, I'm Jason Jones. I'm the owner of Swishes, the ice cream van that's brought the motion up for the mobile food vendor.
Sorry, beg your pardon. We've got a councillor we need back in.
Yep.
Sorry, what was your name again?
Jason
Jones.
Jason Jones.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, sorry, you've got 3 minutes.
So we've lived in the community or municipality for over 40 years. We've brought our food vans into the municipality. The most recent one, Swilicious, we've spent 18 months building what we've got, trolling what we've got, but unfortunately the 15 minutes time frame doesn't allow our business to succeed in the community. One thing we want to do is be in the community, serve the community, we give back to the community as well. We've looked at the recent policy change that's being heard tonight. We think that's marvellous. We think that's spot on. We believe that it gives the balance between bricks and mortar, which I know a lot of people are concerned about, because the hour that's given during the week where we can serve our people is no different than what we do now, and gives us the opportunity where there's more people around the community to actually get out in the community and serve our people. We spoke to the community. We've asked what they want. We constantly hear that they say it's driving off from a park when they're getting there because the 15-minute time frame just doesn't suit. So, but not only that, we're also seeing people come to the parks when we're there. They come to the park, they get their ice cream, they go and play with their families, they meet up with other members of the community. We drive off and they're still there. When we first pull up, they're not there. Not saying people don't use our parks, because people definitely do, but it's another way we can bring people to our local areas is what we're finding. It works for us and it works for the community. So yeah, I approve, not that it's my vote, for the policy that's out there that's been brought forward. I think that's spot on. I think that's a really good mix between us and them, if you want to put it that way, which we shouldn't be because we're all in the same community doing the same job, owning our own businesses, trying to work in here. So that's what I would say.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Is there anybody else in the members of the public who would like to make a statement or ask a question about anything that's not related to our planning items? No? Okay, so we'll move into planning now. Mover and a seconder to get us into planning. Councillor Adams, then Councillor McCullough. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Up here, actually. Planning 1. Is there any member of the public who would like to make a statement about Planning 1, which is to insert the Fred Mulga Davies Memorial Grandstand into the local Historic Heritage Code? Nope. Okay. Planning 2. Is there any member of the public who wishes to make a statement around the change of use to the visitor accommodation 30 Tasman Street, Ross? Yes, you'd like to. Just state your name and you've got 3 minutes.
Aaron King from Ross. Apparently we've had a, can't remember what you call it, somebody's registered a complaint about our application to do the visitor accommodation.
Representation, yeah.
Sorry?
A representation.
Representation, that's the word, yes, thank you. Something to do with extra traffic on the road and dust, which we thought was very interesting, given that it's only a little container house. It's got 2 rooms, only one of which will be available for people to stay in. The other one's actually going to be set up as an office, so somebody can actually stay there long term if they want to and work remotely. So given that my wife and myself won't be actually at the property, so there would be at a maximum 2 people there, no more than what there are at the moment. I can't see that there can be any cause for any extra dust from traffic on our road. The other point was that our road doesn't actually produce dust, unlike many other country roads I've lived beside, which are extremely dusty. As I don't know what they put on, the council put on the road there, but it's some kind of soil that doesn't seem to dry out and turn to dust. So yes. I have no idea what the complaint is about, actually. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak about Planning 2? Okay, we'll move on to Planning 3, which is the change of use from a shop to a multiple dwelling, 10 Russell Street, Evandale. Has anybody got any statements to make about that development application? No? Okay. Planning 4 is multiple dwellings, 28 Barclay Street, Evandale. Do we have anybody who wishes to make a statement about that? Right, okay, we'll get into planning. Planning 1, a draft amendment 22 to 2026 to insert the Fred Mulga Davies Memorial Grandstand into the local Historic Heritage Code. And You're moving the recommendation that's there? Yes. And councillor Adams, you were seconding?
I moved it.
Oh, you moved it, beg your pardon, and councillor McCullough seconded. Right, sorry. Okay, councillor Adams.
Yeah, I think this is a very good opportunity for us to put this into our local heritage code and give it some protection. This is a famous grandstand. It was there and the players of both teams run out from underneath it, at the back of it, when Longford had the best team in Tasmania and had won the state grand final in 1958. Quite a feat for a country town. So I think this is wonderful to have it done. Been a lot of work done by our officers, and I congratulate them on doing that. As I said earlier, I'd love a better photograph with no shadows to go into the official record. That would be wonderful. Yeah, with great pleasure, I move this motion.
Councillor McCullough.
Yeah, I concur with Councillor Adams. He's probably got a few more years on me and remembers that vividly, but he's got plenty of it. But I actually got changed in those club rooms a couple of times when I was younger, so they weren't the best club rooms, but the historical meaning of that building and that area down there is phenomenal. With the Longford, all synonymous with the Longford Football Club. It's one of the most successful teams in the state, and I fully concur.
Any further discussion? Councillor Archer.
I agree with the two previous comments, but also I'd like to hopefully that there's a commitment to maintain the stadium forever. There is a bit of a risk there, I think, being a timber building, that it will deteriorate, and I'd like to think that council in the future does commit to the maintenance.
No further discussion? Yes, absolutely.
Just for the record, with regard to the updated photo, I'll just suggest an addition to point C, please. If you keep scrolling down.
On the other side, the main one.
On the main
Oh,
page.
this one?
Yep,
Yes.
just keep going down, you get
Yep,
to
let's
C.
See there?
See, just at the end of that sentence, after report,
Yeah.
just please put replace figure.
Oh, hang on. I can't
Please.
do it in there. I'm gonna do it in here. Sorry.
Yeah, so put a comma. Sorry, replacing figure NOR dash C 6.1.469.
469?
Yep, point 3. With a photograph of the grandstand taken in full sunlight, just so the commission knows why pictures have changed.
With the grandstand?
Yep, with a photograph of the grandstand. Of the grandstand.
In full
In
light.
full light,
I'll
yep.
fix that up.
Thank you.
Yep, that's good. Any further discussion from anybody? Councillor Adams, would you like to sum up?
No, I think we're all's been said, and I appreciate what Councillor Archer said, that we need to keep it updated, and people use it, and often the other side from the opposition side often sits in there and its supporters. And I had to work out there's some boards at the back, and I had to work out for that, and it was actually, I worked out with Tim Flanagan that it was the press box, and that's where the press sat on a home game behind that. I guess it stopped them from getting the Westleys that blew in straight into the grandstand.
All right, I'm going to put the recommendation. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Planning 2, the change of use to visitor accommodation, 30 Tasman Street, Ross. Councillor McCullough's moving.
Yeah.
And Councillor Brooks is seconding. Councillor McCullough, do you wish to speak to it?
Yeah,
Do
I
the
think,
planners, just first of all, do the planners wish to speak about it at all? No? Okay, Councillor McCullough.
I think Ross is one of our hidden gems, and from what I'm hearing about the pub and a few other things, we're going to need more accommodation down there. And I don't think there's any major issues with some small boutique accommodation down there at all, so fully supportive.
Councillor Brooks.
Yeah, I think I concur with what Councillor McCullough says. You know, we're here talking about this darkness situation in Ross that they want to try and establish. So that'll bring more people into Ross and more people that'll want to use this type of accommodation. So I congratulate the applicant for being on the front foot and providing these, you know, and like Councillor McCullough said, we will need some more accommodation in Ross once this dark sky thing kicks off, and yeah, fully supported.
Any further discussion?
As long as we can still find Ross.
Sorry?
Turn the lights on.
When it goes dark, we've got to still find Ross.
Okay, Councillor McCullough, did you wish to say anything
No,
on
no,
something
I
else?
think I think it's got united support here.
Yep, all right, I'll put the recommendation. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Planning 3 is change of use from a shop to multiple dwellings, 10 Russell Street, Evandale. Would wish to move a recommendation and, yep, Councillor Adams.
I haven't been involved in this. Haven't done.
Councillor Archer. Okay, move a seconder. Councillor Andrews. Do the planners wish to say anything? No, right. Councillor Archer.
Yes, I'd just like to say that obviously the streetscape in Evandale is very important, but also the economics of Evandale is very important. The most important thing is that buildings are used. Obviously, changing from residential to commercial or vice versa is a significant change, and you wouldn't want the whole of the street to change, but this can be reversed in the future if necessary, and I think at this stage, especially with old buildings, that if a building can be used and looked after, that's in its best interest and in the town's best interest as well.
Councillor Andrews.
I agree with Councillor Archer. This building has been empty, and the worst things that for quite some time, and the worst things that can happen to an old building is that it's empty and not lived in. The look of the building is not going to change. It will look exactly as it does now. So I'm pleased that it looks as though it will have a new life and won't change and be preserved in all its beauty.
Councillor Lambert.
Look, I'm just pleased that a vacant building has, if it gets passed tonight, will be being utilised again. That's, you know, that's a good thing for our community, not to, because vacant buildings often lead to vandalism and things like that, and we don't want to see that in our beautiful township. And as was mentioned before, it can revert back at any time to a business if there's a requirement or a need for that to be built or to go back to that sort of thing. So I agree with the application.
Any further discussion, Councillor McCullough?
I concur with the other councillors. It's, I think it's very important, whilst slightly contentious, I think it's very important that it can be reverted back, and so therefore no loss.
No further discussion. Do you wish to sum up, Councillor Archer?
No, I think everyone's.
I'll put the recommendation. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Planning 4 is multiple dwellings, 28 Barclay Street, Evandale. 24. We have a recommendation there that the application be approved with conditions and plans. You wish to move it? Councillor Terrett is moving it. And Councillor McCullough is seconding. Councillor Terrett.
Yeah, look, in approving this, I think it's more accommodation and in full. There was a representation to increase the fence height, but I believe that this, the request is not an arbitrary thing. It actually is on a discretionary aspect of that. The fence at the moment is 1.4 metres. The request was to go into, stand corrected, 2.1, thank you, maximum height. There's nothing that can compel a new owner to do that, and other than that, I think the matter should be approved.
Councillor, seconded, sorry. Councillor McCullough.
Yeah, it's not an offensive application. It's infill. It's providing more housing in the centre of town, so I'm happy with that.
Any further discussion from anybody? No? Okay, I'll put the recommendation. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Okay, now we'll go to 13.3. Oh, we've had a planning, beg pardon. Councillor McCullough and Councillor Lambert. All those in favour? Against? Carried. That's that one. Rightio. 13.3, the roadside mobile food vendors. Motion, Councillor Lambert. And who was that? Councillor Andrews. Okay, Councillor Lambert.
Thank you, Mayor. Look, I'd like to thank the officers for bringing this back so quickly. This was a motion on notice that I put forward last meeting to look at a variation in the policy to better accommodate dessert-style vans and to look at creating a balance for all for bricks and mortar business and the vans. So thank you very much, and I understand that they've done a power of work looking at lots of other councils, digging deep into their policies and to come up with this particular version, which I am happy to support because I think it works well for both. And you might have heard from Mr Jones in public question time. He's very happy to be able to work under the new restrictions. And there are some restrictions there, so it is not a case of mobile food vendors having carte blanche to do whatever they like, whenever they like. They've been given set guidelines, looked at best practices from other councils and have come up with this policy. So I think the idea of having limits on the length of stay is good. So, you know, the new permit option gives them that 4 hours, which I believe was similar to the Meander Valley one, which I think was had some general sort of support last meeting. But there's restrictions on. They can only work on the Saturday, Sunday and public holidays within that framework. It also gave the officers an opportunity to tidy up a few things around waste, tighten some of those requirements, which I think is a really good thing. It also looked at the issue of the non-permits. So having at the current permit, the vendor could stay for 15 minutes and they had to up and leave. So there has been an opportunity, the council officers have added a 60-minute, which I think is a really practical and sensible idea because it gives the operators the opportunity to turn up, unpack, get ready to serve, and then pack up and go within a reasonable time and not leave customers going, hey, I didn't get my ice cream or dessert or whatever it is. So I think that's quite a good thing. I just would really ask our councillors to look at this with an open mind and just be really aware that this is not a case of one style of business versus another style of business. This is about creating a balance. So all businesses can have an opportunity to earn a living and to work within their community. And I think this policy creates that balance. I know there was some concern about a couple of businesses that was talked about last meeting, but I'll just remind you that those particular businesses don't just deal with ice cream. They have a huge variety of other products that they can offer to the public that the vans can't do. So they have the opportunity to expand their offerings in many and varied ways, and they do that. So I just would like to emphasise that point. So the restrictions of times, I think, is a really good thing. I just would also like to make sure that, that we look at this with an open mind, because I would hate to think that we are comparing one business with another and not allowing all businesses to have an opportunity to earn a living and to earn a wage. So it's about creating a balance. It's about creating a fair as possible playing field so everyone can have those opportunities. So I hope councillors will look on this favourably. I would be open to perhaps looking at it as a trial to see how this works, because I know there was some concern, perhaps a 12-month trial, so we work through all of the different seasons and give everyone an opportunity to then perhaps review after that 12-month period to see how that policy is working. So, it's going to be supported.
So are you suggesting an addition to the recommendation that the policy is reviewed in 12 months?
Yes,
The seconder, Councillor Andrews, you happy with that?
Yes.
Okay, we'll put that in. Councillor Andrews?
Yes, I think that this new policy is a fair and balanced one, and it has taken into account the concerns that were expressed last time about concerns about unfair competition with established businesses at the various towns, and this is a good balanced document that doesn't set anybody against anybody. It gives everybody a chance to do their thing, and as I said in the workshop, we've found in modern times when food vendors are part of our town and our towns and our business way of operating business these days, that where they've been successful is where they've been allowed into towns in a balanced way. If you go down to the village green on a Friday and Saturday and Thursday nights these days at Longford, there will be crowds of people there, and they're at restricted times, so they're not competing with the established business on the town, but they're bringing more people to Longford in particular. I don't know about the other towns. So that it gives the established businesses, if they want to open, have extended hours and make use of those extra people that are coming onto the town. So it works both ways, and I think it's healthy. And this policy addresses all those concerns.
Councillor Terry?
Yeah, just speaking in favour of this motion, one of the things this council needs to be, and I think this is indicative, there should be a can-do council to make it much more of a good place to do business, and doing things and removing red tape that we had from the previous policy has been a good thing, and this is a step in the right direction to start whittling away some of the things that actually inhibit business within our council area. I welcome the fact that this is being changed. We had last year Avoca with the coffee van there. That's allowed a business to have a foothold and come in, set up a business. Now it is a bricks and mortar business. And whatever happens as far as the future of this business, it actually means that they can get started and they can have a fair go. By saying only allowing 15 minutes in the past they had no real reason for doing that. It's something that needed to be changed. And I do thank Councillor Lambert for bringing this to the council's attention. And I think this is the right way of going. I think this is a good step in the right direction, and let's keep working to try to remove red tape so we can be a much more can-do council.
Councillor Archer?
Yes, look, I'm glad Councillor Lambert, Councillor Andrews decided to amend the motion and put the trial in, because I think it's an issue that the community needs to look at over the period. I noticed that we haven't had any representations in regards to our own businesses, but I do think we need to give those businesses a chance to assess how it is affecting their own business. For example, type of food, what times or whatever. So I'm prepared to see a trial. I also think we've got to be careful we don't have a situation where councils, I think a third of their income comes from rates, and we've just got to balance the cost to council compared to the gain to council. And obviously there's licensing, how much licence the council get from these things, cost of administration, who goes down and checks whether that van's still there after an hour. There are costs for these things. The council's got to be very careful that we're not paying for it, that the benefit to everybody is great enough, that people aren't losing, council is not losing. I agree it creates a better economic environment, but I will say bricks and mortar still pay the rates, and that's a third of our income, so I support it.
Councillor Brooks?
I'm against it, not as much now that it's a trial, but I've seen these things come and go through council, and I've wrote down a few things that have come up that we haven't really talked about. It's weaken our regulatory framework and create obligations that council is simply not equipped to enforce. We haven't got a compliance officer here that will go down and check to enforce these conditions that we're putting on here. Our own policy defines a roadside mobile food vendor as any registered mobile food business. So we're not just talking about an ice cream van, we're talking about any mobile food van that can take advantage of this. Hot food vans, out of area operators, multiple vehicles rotating through the municipality. This is a major deregulation and not a small accommodation. Our bricks and mortar businesses really rely on a lot of, in country towns, a lot of business from locals. I know there's a place in our municipality for food vans, but we've got to be careful that we don't open the floodgates and we end up with a lot of small operators that have gone broke and shut their doors, like they have in Launceston, Devonport. Meander Valley, I believe, have got a good policy. But our policy, if you look at our policy, you know, we've got 100 to 200 metre exclusion zones. We've already got, you know, wastewater and waste disposal requirements, 15 to 50 minute exemption per 24 hours, no stationary vending without state growth approval. Expanding the trading hours directly contradicts the logic of these protections and weakens the integrity of the policy. We have no compliance officer, like I said before. How are we going to employ a compliance officer to go down and monitor these things? The policy requires monetary distance rules, time-based exemption, wastewater treatment, you know, nuisance impacts. If you look at the park down here, we had a 100 to 200 metre exclusion zone away from residents, but the food vans can set up directly over the road from all them residents down Archer Street. No one's ever enforced it. So here we are, we're not complying with our own policy. Location restrictions. You know, there's been food vans set up all over the place, haven't complied, but we can't enforce it because we haven't got anyone. I keep going back to we haven't got a compliance officer. Can someone tell me, are we going to have one to police these things? Complaints, accusations of legal and risk, conflict between vendors and local businesses. It's not only Longford, I'm talking about Evandale, Perth, Ross, Campbelltown, all these other businesses that could potentially be impacted by food vans, not only just ice cream vans. Congestion, complaints from bricks and mortar businesses, unfair competition during peak trading hours, enforcement challenges. You know, why would we repeat all these mistakes? You know, the Meander Valley has got a model 2 to 6. I can't see what's wrong with that. It's balanced, it's enforceable and it's proven, and it's a similar sort of municipality as what we've got here. You can't compare Launceston and Devonport to our municipality, that's where we've got all our data from. Go into Launceston and look at the local business food shops that have closed up. So there's a number of things, and I'm glad that we are actually having a trial. That's one good thing that's come out of it. But, local bricks and mortar businesses, they're heavily invested in small communities. They support netball clubs, football clubs, all these things and I know Swirlicious are active in the community and do support a lot of clubs, but it's not just about Swirlicious, it's about other food vans that come in. If it was only the ice cream van, happy days, but all these local businesses support local communities and it brings spirit, netball clubs, footy clubs, cricket clubs, all sorts of things. So if this gets out of control, we could lose some of those businesses that do really support local communities. So I won't support it, but I am happy that it's a trial and let's see what happens after that trial period. But I still would like an answer to who we're going to get to police all these policies that we're bringing into place with the food vans, because at the moment it's open slather now. And I can assure you it is open slather on Longford. there's not too many that comply. I know Swirlicious have always complied with the rules and regulations from day one when Jason had that other ice cream ban, but I think Jason could be the only one that does really comply.
Well, only to say that we do employ a health officer for food related issues, requirements, and we do have a compliance or part-time compliance officers that do other compliance with other things as well, such as camping, overnight camping and litter and those sort of things. So obviously we would have to use those officers for that.
There was a food van parked in Archer Street for weeks on end, and never moved, you know, yet the policy says they're supposed to leave the street, but it was there for weeks on end. No one from council enforced anything.
Well, we were
It
aware.
hasn't changed at all, councillor.
Well, let the officer speak, please.
We were aware of that, and we were dealing with that.
Yeah, but it went on for a very long time, didn't it?
Right. Now, does anybody else wish to, Councillor McCullough?
Yeah, I'm going to support this. I think that the idea of hearing that the parks are alive, we've got a situation in council. We're more than just regulators. We've got to bring the community and the community and use our parks and use our stuff like that. And having a van down there for an hour or a few vans for an hour a day, I don't think it's going to impact. I think it complements our other businesses. They're not in competition. They're paying a fee. The bricks and mortar are paying rates. So to me, that balances up. And if you work on the McDonald's Hungry Jack's theory, build it and they shall come. Put them all together and let people come down there and choose 3 or 4 different things. So I actually think it can enhance. I look at the positives. I think it can enhance. You're not going to buy ice creams and a loaf of bread. You might go down to JJ's and buy a loaf of bread. So I'm supporting this. I think it's good. I think if it brings the community together, it gets our parks vibrant. I think it's a great thing.
Anybody else who hasn't spoken yet? Councillor Goss.
Yeah, I won't be supporting this. I feel strongly that, the bit part I don't like about the report, and I will say this honestly, there's no community consultation. I mean, this is such a big thing. Why wouldn't you consult the community? Why would not you consult the current business owners in the town? Why wouldn't you consult those people who own the houses across the road where these businesses are going to be running from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Saturdays, Sundays, and public holidays? Why wouldn't you consult those people? I'm not sure people are shaking head, but in the policy says it runs from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, and public holidays. So potentially, the most they can be there for is 4 hours, but there's no reason why business can't come and go and have 1 or 2 come, 1 or 2 go, and it'll be much more. I just really feel sorry for these people that live across the road from these places and have to put up with this across the road. I don't.
Keep going. They've
I'm
stopped.
just waiting to.
Yes.
For people to interrupt him, Mayor. Is that okay?
Yes.
Just trying to
Go
be
ahead.
respectful.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I really feel sorry for the businesses around the Longford Village Green and the Ross Village Green, because those areas are going to be really hardly hit now from 7 a.m. in the morning to 9 o'clock at night on Saturdays and Sundays. I don't know much about their businesses, what they do, but I do know that in public holidays they're paying penalty rates, double time on Sundays and double time on public holiday times. These kind of businesses are going to really impact on them, and they have to follow the legislation. That's what they do. And I wouldn't like to see it get like some of the other places where businesses, bricks and mortar businesses, are closed down because there's too much competition and they can't get the people in. We look at the number of people that have those bricks and mortar businesses employ in the town, young people, and I just think it's too much of a change. I think we could have made some alterations to it. No problems with that, but I think there was too much change with not enough community consultation. I think that's really good. And I'm not just talking about consulting the people that buy a hamburger or buy a fish and chips. I'm talking about across the whole community. Thank you.
Anybody else who hasn't spoken yet would like to say anything? Okay, Councillor Lambert, would you like to sum up?
Yeah, just quickly, there's been a lot of conversation about this one. Look, I think we just need to bring people back to what the key focus of this change was, and it is a review to find the right balance between protecting bricks and mortar businesses as well as supporting the popularity and the community vibrance that gets created through the food vans. All we have done is tighten up some regulations around the waste. We've looked at a second option for dessert style vans to be able to work in the community at a more appropriate time to the style of food that they promote. Compliance has always been part of the policy. It will always be part of the policy, and that's up to council to make sure that they adhere to that and that they do that if there's an issue. That's why we have legislation, to make sure that that does happen. But I think what we've done here is created a really good balance, and I look forward to seeing what the next 12 months bring, because that will then show us whether this has been a success or not. And I will say here now, I believe it will be a success, because what we're doing is we're providing things that people want, the people in our community. We're listening to them by passing this tonight. We're listening to what they want. Mr. Jones has done his homework. He talked about, I brought that information forward in the previous motion of notice. I think this is the right way to go. It's a great balance. It's protecting both bricks and mortar and also giving opportunity in a very strict way for vans to operate as well. So
I will put the recommendation. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against?
Aye.
Councillor Brooks and Councillor Goss against. Nobody else? The motion's carried. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to go to 14.1, 96A Main Road, Perth.
Oh,
Beg your pardon? Oh, wait till Councillor Terry leaves. Thank you. Do you want to pull the door open, Councillor Terry? Okay, Councillor McCulley is moving. And a seconder. For the 96A Main Road, Perth. Councillor McCullers moved it. We need a seconder. Councillor Adams. Councillor McCullough.
Yeah, I'm really delighted to see this before council. It was a big risk and a big punt by the council to purchase that building. I think based on the Avondale result of the police station, we've probably bought really well, so that's a good win for us. But I had some doubts that we were going to pull through at one stage when I heard some conflicting reports, but to their credit, the Perth community guys have got together and are united, and it's looking really good for the future of the Perth Community Hub. So I think that we should be supporting this all the way. I think we should be giving them both buildings. I think we should support them, which we are doing through some alterations, and I think we should be embracing this as a really good thing for the community.
Councillor Adams.
Yes, this has been ongoing for a long time. People have wanted a space. There's a good opportunity here for the space to be developed. I think there's a long way to go, and you have to generate some line of income. So that'll be a pressure point as well, but good opportunities to do that. I think the community's input will be very important in establishing this special committee of council, and council will have its responsibilities as well.
Councillor Archer.
Look, I can't support the motion in its present form. I'd like the proponents to change it. I cannot endorse 3 years at 75,000 for works. What I'd like to see is a council commit to the management agreement and to some initial works. But I also would like to see a public meeting in Perth to gauge the real support for the project, because we only had one submission. I've heard comments from people that they already thought they had enough community buildings, and I think it's a chance for Perth people to really get out in front of council and say that we support the project, and council can in the next year or two continue with that funding if necessary. But at this stage, and considering our budget situation, I just cannot endorse 3 years of 75,000. Some of that work I don't think is essential. Some of it is essential, and that could be spent in the first year. But at this stage, I would like the Lions Club, Escaley and everyone to rouse up the people of Perth, and we'd all go over there as a council and we can see what is the real support for what we're going to be spending quite a lot of money on as a council. And I'd like to congratulate the people who have come along to numerous meetings. You're driving the situation, but we need numbers supporting you. And so I think we need to have the Lions Club, as I said, Escaley, all those people together so that we can see as a council that we've made a huge commitment, but we need ongoing commitment from the people of Perth.
Can I just clarify?
You'll get the chance to sum up at the
It's
end.
very important. It's $25,000 a year for 3 years, isn't it? 75 grand total.
75,000 a
Over 3
year.
years.
No, each year.
That's each year,
Okay.
Yep. Councillor Brooks is next.
Yeah, I support the motion. I think what Councillor Archer's probably should have done a long time ago, not now. It's sort of, the horse is bolted, so to speak. We can't buy a property and then go and do your consultation now. We should have been doing the consultation, a long time ago, not trying to bring it back now, because then what happens then if the Perth people say they don't want it, what do we do with it then? So I think, the horse is bolted, and we need to support what's in front of us. I did hear Councillor Adams talk about special committee of council. Is that group a special committee of council?
That's what we recommend.
Yep. So that's good. But I'll support the motion now.
Councillor Lambert.
Can I suggest we put in the motion that community consultation be undertaken, including incorporating public meetings, this has just come from the document that this group put together. We put it as a motion, as a part of the recommendation that might.
So you're moving an amendment to the motion?
Yeah, we'll just see whether an addition.
Excuse me, no, can't speak now. So you're moving an amendment by adding something to it?
Yeah, the recommendation doesn't mention anything about community consultation. It just talks about refurbishment, creating a committee of council and what's the third one?
So you're suggesting
an annual fee. So I propose just
number 4.
Yeah, number 4, saying community consultation be undertaken, including incorporating public meetings, surveys, and other engagement activities to ensure residents have the opportunity to.
Hang on a second, we'll just slow down a minute.
I'll just read it out.
Wait a minute.
And then I can just hand this to.
Then you can hand it over.
It's just the words that
Yes,
were
that's fine.
in their proposal.
Yes.
That I thought
give
we
it to
could
the
turn
officer,
that
she
into a
can write it
motion, because I was very passionate about wanting that community consultation as well.
Yep.
Because we need to bring our community with us. And this group is the driver, but they need to bring the community with them.
So you read it out, and then we'll give it to the officer to write up.
So community consultation be undertaken, including incorporating public meetings, surveys and other engagement activities to ensure residents have the opportunity to contribute to shaping the purpose, services and operation of the proposed community hub. To ensure this is seen as a cooperative and inclusive venture that evolves in response to the response to the needs and aspirations of the Perth community. And that's just their words from their document, put into a recommendation or an add-on to the recommendation. If the mover and seconder...
If the mover and the seconder wish that to be included, Councillor McCullough and Councillor Adams.
I'd like to talk to these guys and see what their thoughts are.
It's in their document.
It's in their document.
And she did talk about it tonight as well. It's been one of the things that they wanted to do.
In the documents they gave us.
Yeah, in public question time. Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to hand that to the officer, we'll get it typed up so we know what we're voting on. Does it need to be quite that long?
Hold it up.
Can it be like
I don't think
abbreviated?
it's, well, I'll read it first. I'm not going to.
It will.
Hang on. It's part of it. It's not contingent on, it's part of it.
Just making sure that the community
But what
Go
happens
with
if,
the group.
what
Excuse
happens?
me, everybody, councillor,
What happens if they do?
excuse me, it's
What
councillor
happens if
Lambert's
they-
turn to speak, so we'll wait till that's
Well,
sorted.
I applaud the group for, and Ms Field talked about it tonight herself, the fact that they want to bring the community with them. It's in the document, it's in the attachments, if you've read the attachments, they clearly say that they want to bring the Perth community with them, and I agree, because before the bypass came along, Perth was a stagnant town in many, many ways. There were some little community groups around, but every time they tried to get something up and running, no, you can't do that because we've got to wait for the bypass. We've got to wait till we know where the boundaries are and this. And that created, I suppose, a negativity in the end where people stopped trying to contribute to the community because they knew the answer was going to be, we need to wait for the bypass. But the bypass has happened now. We have clear lines of where our Perth community is going, and you can see it growing. And I was on council when all that was happening, and the big hope and the conversations that we had with the district committees at the times and the groups at the time was we want people to start taking ownership of that community when it's the right time. And the right time was obviously when the bypass came through. And the town knew where they knew their identity. They knew where they were, they knew where their boundaries were. So, and slowly we've seen this starting to happen in Perth. We've seen groups starting to emerge. So we've got these groups here now starting to emerge who want to take the community and create something that other communities have. They want to create that for this community. And I know Escaley want to be involved, and the Historical Society. Lions have been a long-term group who I think have been absolutely frustrated about the fact that we've got to wait for the bypass before things can really take off in Perth. This is an opportunity to create a hub where these things can take off and slowly and sensibly and with governance processes in place through the special committee in a staged way can actually start to happen now. But the community, as Councillor Archer said, the community has to want it as well. So this is the community's opportunity to stand up and say, yes, we want a hub, we want this, we want that. And that will be determined by the community meeting, where the community takes this under the guidance of this group. So I see huge opportunities. I mean, I know there were conversations about wanting to rent out the house, and I was actually in favour of wanting to rent out the house, but I can actually see the difficulties that might create. But I am absolutely firm on the fact that we need to bring our Perth community with us, with the group, and create, I hope, something really special for the community, something long-lasting, a hub where people can feel safe to go and be part of the Perth community. It's something that's long overdue.
Okay, councillor, anyone else? Councillor McCullough, you get the chance to sum up. Anyone else wish to speak? Councillor
I
Goss.
haven't agreed to that at this stage, by the way.
Oh, okay, you haven't agreed to the amendment?
At this stage, I'm looking at this.
All right, this is an amendment, right? Councillor Adams. All right, well, we'll move the amendment if...
No, well, I think it's been changed, and I agree with obviously number 4 there, but I still believe at this stage, considering our budget situation, 75,000 for this year, I'm happy to support. And that will give us 12 months to decide really what is the support in Perth. We can always, in the next financial year, allocate that future money, but at this stage, to allocate that money, I actually supported the renting out of the house, and I'm happy to forego that after hearing what the speakers have said. But still, for me, to allocate another $150,000 at this stage to those buildings is just not good policy. But I agree with number 4. I think that's essential, but I can't support that 3-year funding at 75,000.
Okay, now what I need to do... Wait a minute, excuse me.
No,
Just a minute,
Richard's had
thank you. Thank you, just a moment. Because the mover has not agreed to amend the motion, this is now needs to be moved as an amendment, which Councillor Lambert's moving, and I need a seconder to the amendment to make this the motion.
I'm going to reserve
Councillor
my decision
Andrews.
until I hear you speak.
Excuse
So
me.
I'm not saying that.
Excuse me.
She asked me a
No.
question.
Excuse me. This
Sorry,
is a
Mayor,
meeting.
that was my fault. I asked him whether he was prepared to.
Well, he's just stated before that he wasn't prepared to add that into
There's
the
a different
motion.
question going on.
It needs to go through the
Oh,
chair.
it needs to go through the chair. Thank you very much.
Yeah, my apologies, Mayor.
Right. So
Sorry.
I'll ask the mover and the seconder again. Are you happy to have that included in your motion?
I'm quite happy.
Right.
Right. I can't see how you.
It's a yes or no.
No, it's not a yes or no. It's a decision. I'm going to give a reason why. I can't see. There might be a compromise. I can't see how you've got a motion where we motion to buy the property and we motion to go and give it, get the Perth Community Centre up and running, and then all of a sudden we want to change the rules. So to me, that's a kick in the teeth. To me, if I was sitting there on that side there and told I had to now go and do other things because we've put our case forward, we've put our study forward, we've done everything we're required to do, and then, oh, by the way, we're going to change the rules for you now. We're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we want this other stuff. Well, to me, that's crazy. With Richard, with Councillor Archer's 75 grand, I'm happy to look at that, and it might be that we give certain specifications to what has to happen, because of that 75 grand, you're going to get capital works gains anyway. So it's not necessarily a waste, because I think we've paid nicely for the property.
My question to you is not about the 75 grand.
Just let me speak, please. You asked me to sum up.
No, I'm not saying, you're not summing up. This is to ask you, as a mover of the motion, do you agree to the added point? Not about the, not the, all right, you don't agree.
I suggest you add the word.
Yeah, okay.
I suggest you add the word.
You don't agree, so therefore it becomes an
No, it
amendment.
doesn't. I'm asking.
No, excuse me.
She's asked me a question.
We are following the council regulations.
She's asked me
This
whether I
now.
want to rebel. I'm saying that there might be room to move it. I'm giving reasons why. So what I'm saying is, if you undertake that contemporaneously, but provide them with the access to get on with it, I think that's a win for both parties. If you're telling them they've got to go and do this, and then, oh, by the way, we might give it back to you, well, that to me is a kick in the teeth. We just talked about food vans being fair and equitable and balanced. Well, what about this side? They've done a lot of hard work. We've gone a long way. We voted as a council to buy the property. We voted as a council to support these guys. They've done everything requested. Now we want to change the rules. That is absolutely crazy.
Do you agree to the
No, I do
amendment? Right, okay, end of story for there. Councillor Lambert, you're moving that amendment, as is.
Yeah, I'll move the amendment.
Okay, and Councillor Andrews seconded the amendment. We will discuss the amendment now. Councillor Lambert, do you wish to say any more?
Oh, look, I think I've said enough.
Yes.
I'll just say this though. I'm not saying anything that the group hasn't already talked about in their own proposal that they want to do. So I'm not changing any rules here. All I'm doing is actually adding in what this group has said they're going to do.
Hang on a minute.
That's all. There's no rule change. There's no changes there whatsoever. If you've read the document, you'll know that's exactly what they're going to do. Ms. Field herself tonight stood in public question time saying that that's the first thing they want to do is to come and get the community on side. And so I'm just saying that would be a great thing to put in the recommendation, because that's legitimising what they want to do. No rule changes.
Councillor Andrews seconded the motion. She gets next speak.
The amendment. I'd like to speak just to probably clarify in Councillor McCullough's mind what's going on, because I hear his frustration. But I also hear what Councillor Lambert is saying, and I agree with the number 4 point, because as Sue Field has frustratingly kept her mouth shut on the sidelines, she's been trying to say that what we've added as number 4 is what they wanted all along. We're not changing the rules. We're not telling them to go away and do something completely different. They wanted this in the motion as well, but it wasn't in the motion that we got. So we've added it in. It's something that the proponents want in there as well. We've added it in. We're not changing the rules and telling them to go away and do something different. We're just adding the information that they wanted in it as well. And I agree that we need to bring the community with us, and we need community consultation, as the group does.
Councillor Brooks.
Didn't we, though, invite expressions of interest from local people of Perth? And how many did we get? We got one from the Perth Community Hub group. That was it. So here we go. Now we're going to go backtrack, and we're going to do now. It's public consultation now. And we're going to get the whole town at the town hall, and we're going to have a big shebang there and bring up a lot of stuff that if the community aren't happy with, we're going to go back. So I can see it's going to take a big step back, where we've already invited public consultation, we got nothing. So why are we going back and doing it again?
I'll just remind you, Councillor Brooks, that was actually in their submission to the council. Councillor McCullough.
Yes, it's just crazy. What community consultation's been done with the Longford Community Hub that we're supposedly putting over here? Zero.
We're not talking about
No,
Longford.
we're putting in the hypocrisy.
Oh, excuse me, one at a
The hypocrisy
time.
at this table. If you want to sit there and put four in, you make it contemporaneous that they do all that while they get on with the job at hand. You can't go back and give them something and take it back off them and then, we'll go and open up a can of worms, we'll bring the community in, bring them along, yes, but bring them along, yes. But don't go and open another can of worms up and start again and open this whole thing up. It's typical of an old North Midlands council. We have moved on. We have moved on, Mayor. We have moved on. Okay, I'm very respectful. We've moved on. We've had a great meeting tonight. We're moving on. We've done, as I think Councillor Adams said, we've done 10 times the amount of applications in our planning department in the last 12 months. That's fantastic, right? So why do we want to take a step backwards after we sat at this table a couple of months ago and we said adamantly, we're going to buy it, we're going to put it out for tender. They've done all the right things. So it's contemporaneous on those things being done, I agree with, but not contingent.
Okay, for the amendment, is there anyone who hasn't spoken who would like to? Councillor Adams.
Thank you, Mayor. And I'm speaking on the amendment.
Yes.
To try and sort this out, and whether Councillor Archer's issue of the finance being too much to agree within one motion, and I agree. It was in the group's thing to have a submission, and I thought that's what we would be doing in Perth. There are people that have approached me about saying what's happening and how do I get a say in this process. And I think that's a genuine thing from the residents of Perth to do that. I don't think it's going away from that. I think that's a reasonable thing. I mean, the proposition of asking for people to run the show, or if there was a group and the three groups have put in that they want to take that on, but they've also said that they would have a community meeting, and therefore there may be people coming out of that to have input. I mean, that's a logical thing to me. It doesn't go against it. If we could find to understand that that's what the group wanted in the first place, so it's not going against them. I think only if we could find some resolution to get the economics. Maybe we can say that the 75 this year to get the toilets right, make sure they're compliant, and whatever, and the ramps and whatever. And then we bring back next year for another go for the next 75. Maybe if we can encompass that in some sort of motion, maybe we could get a resolution that would satisfy to get the Perth Hub underway.
Is there anyone else who hasn't spoken to the amendment? Councillor Goss, did you wish to say anything?
Yeah, my question was that Councillor Adams and Councillor Archer brought up about reducing it down to 75,000 just for that first year until we get things settled out. Could that be possibly changed on the motion? So instead of reading the 225,000 at the moment, but I'll leave it. I'll ask another question first. This is just on the motion. So we're talking about $225,000 over 3 years. It sounds a bit like $75,000 over 3 years, but we're actually talking about $225,000 over 3 years. My question to the acting general manager is, which budget does that come out of? Does that come out of the capital works budget, or does it come out of our operation budget?
Yes, the annual refurbishment allocation of $75,000 would come out of the capital works budget.
Thank you, that's all. Okay. I'm quite happy to support the $75,000 for the 1 year, and then we need to bring it back to council for the future years, because I still don't think we've really got a plan about where we're going to.
Wait a minute, no, Councillor Adams, sorry, Councillor Adams.
Yeah, I'll just finish off, won't be a minute. And I think that'd be a really good, sensible move to make at this stage. We need to spend some stuff on to make it compliant for what we need to do, so we need to have some money allocated for that. It's coming out of our capital works budget, so it's not going to have an impact on our operational budget, which we're running in the red, and we have done, I would say. So I think that's a really good thing that's going to come out of there, so it won't be quite so bad. That's about all for
Can we
me.
get a chance of refiguring the motion here?
I'd be
Oh, wait a
happy,
minute, the mover and seconder have
I'd
to
be
say.
happy to amend that part of the motion I can't quite read it from here, it's a little bit small.
Yeah, it's very small. We
Um,
can't
So
make it
you
full
would just
page.
put endorse a refurbishment allocation of $75,000 in
For one-
2026,
For 1 year to be
27.
reviewed at each
26,
budget.
27, yes, okay.
26, 27, yeah, to be reviewed
26, 27, to be reviewed, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll bring it back the next,
As long as
for
it's
the next
17,
budget.
come back.
Yeah, get rid of the 3 years.
I'm not happy with the next one though.
No, I'm not.
A minute, excuse me, councillor Lambert's got, she's the mover of the motions, and then councillor Andrews, you need to agree, if you want this to be your amended motion.
Well, I can't see it either, so I'm not quite sure what I'm
We're
agreeing
going to
to.
make it
We're
bigger.
going to try and make it bigger.
Yeah.
You can't take away the right-hand side or something, or the left-hand side?
Oh, I know, hang on. Oh, no, hang on.
No ideas, Tatiana?
And run the browser, make it bigger. Browser.
I can read it out if you wish.
But councillor Andrews can't, I can read it on the other screen, but councillor Andrews
No,
can.
I didn't realise.
You know what I can do? I can,
But only as
I'll
so far
apply
as
it and then I can go into minute content.
Okay, and then make it bigger, okay?
What's that top arrow on the right there? Top right.
Oh, you don't want the rest of the sentence? So what, just get rid of all that to 27?
Don't you want that in for what?
It's not stage works then.
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll take out the rest of the sentence, okay.
All that?
Yeah.
Mayor, just while we're doing this, can I just ask, and this is out of order and you can tell me to be quiet, but would it help this situation, which is becoming fairly heated, if are we able to ask the people who have come along from the proposed Perth Community Hub, whether they agree with number 4?
We can, but it was in their submission, so I would say they've agreed.
Can they confirm it?
Can they confirm it? Okay, well, why not?
confirm the 75?
No, the number 4 point, which you can't see.
Oh, the consultation.
Consultation and
Yes,
public
I'm
meeting.
happy to speak on it if I'm allowed to.
Just
Wait a
confirm
minute,
it.
I need to read it out first. Okay. Yeah, you can't make it bigger, that we're writing? Sorry.
It's the system, I don't.
Yeah, I know, yes. Okay, I'll read out the 4th part, which is the question, if you're happy to have it included. Oh, now it's gone.
Hang on.
Probably computers.
Technology.
We're trying people. Sorry.
We are in a zone.
Where's the other marks? There. Oh, so you need to
Well, now it's cut out, but that's going to be included, isn't it?
Sorry.
Oh, this one here, okay. All right,
The rest of that sentence.
Thank you.
yes, okay. Number 4 is community consultation to be undertaken, including incorporating public meetings, surveys and other engagement activities to ensure residents have the opportunity to contribute to shape the purpose, services and operation of the proposed community hub. To ensure this, it is seen as a cooperative and inclusive venture that evolves in response to the needs and aspirations of the Perth community. Are you happy to have that included?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, that's all we need. Thank you.
No.
Okay, so now we're back to the, Councillor Archer, you haven't spoken yet, have you?
Look, I'd just like to say that we're not threatening that the 75,000 will go if you don't have community consultation. We are locking that in tonight. That's going to be spent. So we're not saying if you don't do it, we won't do it. We are committing to pay 75,000 for this year to get the building up to a certain standard. Yeah, compliance. If you do not get community back, that money will still be spent. We're going to value add to the buildings and make them compliant. But it gives you the opportunity to get the community behind you, and then the council can commit in the next year to further fund the works. But at this stage, I cannot, as a councillor who may not be standing next year, commit the council ongoing for another 150,000. But there's nothing to stop the work starting tomorrow on that 75,000 of capital funds.
Different story, and thank you.
Okay, councillor Lambert's you want to sum up on your thing, or has always enough been said?
I think enough's been said. I'd just like to put the motion. I think.
I'll put no, there's no more speaking, I'm sorry.
She's had 3 goes.
I'm sorry, there's no more
I would like to
speaking.
thank the councillors.
This is the
because I think we've
amendment.
actually got an
I'm going to
agreement.
put the amendment, I'm putting the amendment. All those in favour to the amendment? Those against the amendment? The amendment becomes the motion now. Now,
Can I clarify one thing?
yes, you can.
This is 1 to 4?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So now the amendment becomes the motion, which councillor Lambert and councillor Andrews moved. Any further discussion? You can speak now if you wish.
I would like to thank fellow councillors and Ms Field and Ben. I think we've got a great result there tonight.
Right. I will now put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Motion's carried. We need to follow the rules.
Yeah, follow the rules all the time would be good.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just when it suits one person.
Yeah, we've got a few more things before. We'll keep going. Okay. Everyone's happy for us to keep going?
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
I've only got one more thing to go. I can go home.
What have we got? One more motion?
Yeah, I can go home.
One more to deal with?
We've got 2 more to deal with, that's all. Got consolidated meeting procedures and financial statement. Thank you very much.
Let councillor Terrett back.
Oh, yes, you better let councillor
He's probably had dinner while we were here.
Down the food van.
You've been out having a hot dog out of the food van out the front, mate.
Wish I did.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Who would you rather be on Monday night, mate?
I do wish.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, sorry. No, that's.
Okay, let's keep moving. Next time, Rick.
Okay, everybody's settled now. 14.3, review of the Northern Midlands Council consolidated meeting procedures. Can I have a mover and a seconder of a motion, please?
I like
Councillor Archer, you're moving the motion that's there. Councillor McCullough seconding. Councillor Archer.
Look, I think there's been a lot of work put into this. There's probably a little bit more work to do at some stage, but at this stage I think it's improvement. We had some advice from Mr Paul. Some of it I don't think was necessary. We have made some changes and I'm happy to support.
Councillor McCullough.
Yeah, I'm happy to support. I think Councillor Sarah brought up a few concerns tonight, but I think generally, it's a big step in the right direction, directed by a review we had earlier, and I think it's good. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Councillor Terrett.
Yeah, I have a number of concerns with this, and particularly some of the things that aren't in here and some things that have been additionally included, such as limiting councillors' questions on notice to 2 questions only, and questions from the members of the public to 2 questions only. It actually restricts, we've removed motions on notice, but now we've got questions now limiting in this. We also have an agenda which includes acknowledgement of country, even though the policy will be reviewed in a month or so's time. There's an additional inclusion of a mayoral statement under 5.1, which I think is a good idea, but I think it needs to be further expanded. There's also a clause in relation under 2.4, briefing report. Now, a briefing report has nothing to do with our meetings, and it's just information being provided from council. There is no additional areas of our meal breaks, for example, and when meal breaks should occur, and that is something that we do additionally into this policy. I believe that there should have been more work done on this, and if it does go through tonight, I hope that this comes back for review later on and some of these things are corrected, particularly in relation to closed council, where we give no information to the public in relation to what the items we are discussing in closed council, as is the case in our neighbouring councils, such as Meander and Launceston City Council. They don't go through this process. In fact, they just refer to the meeting procedures, meeting regulation, I should say, and what things are specific for their council. So whilst this was put in as part of our overall review on our governance and meeting procedures, I think without training and explanation, the current and the proposed consolidated meeting procedure is flawed.
Anyone else wish to speak?
I would say that this review is only an update of the changes from the regulations in 2025. All the blue highlighted areas are just for council's information of where we, or where the review created over and above the regulations, so that you know what the changes are above regulation.
Clarifying what the general manager said, sorry. The parts that are highlighted in blue, they were already there. We didn't put those parts that are in blue now. They're not new. And I apologize if there's some misunderstanding there, but the new parts were yellow. The parts that we're taking out are across a stripe, and the blue parts, they were there. We are just highlighting them to let councillors know that that was there, and they were things that they are not in the regulations.
They don't actually need to be there if we don't want them.
Exactly.
So it's up to councillors whether they want them in or out, or what do you want to decide? Or you can move it to a workshop, I guess.
Yeah, well, council's already decided they wanted them in February last year.
That's right.
And all we're doing is making you aware that they're still there, and it's really up to you.
Councillor Lambert.
Look, this will get reviewed again with the new council. We've got a few months to go. Then there'll be a new council where I'm sure that some of these things will come back for review. So I'm happy to support it at the moment, and leave it at that.
Councillor Archer. You had your hand up first.
All right. Basically, I think I'm happy for Councillor Carrick to present his arguments to me personally. But basically, yes, I'd be happy to go for a workshop if the council considers it necessary. But I agree with Councillor Lambert that basically we have an election coming up soon. But I'm also happy to change anything if we've made a critical mistake in what we're presenting here today. So, Councillor Carrick, quite happy to look at your doubts about it.
And I must apologise, I should have given Councillor Archer the first speak. And also Councillor Andrews, do you wish to speak?
I'm just going to be
Oh,
flippant.
sorry, McCullough. Councillor McCullough seconded.
I'm happy.
You're right. Beg your pardon, I'm just getting them. Yeah, okay. Anyone else wish to speak? Councillor Andrews.
I'm just going to be flippant. If we come back and look at this again, as we will, can we make the blue a different colour? Because you can't read through blue.
Any further discussion? All right, I'll put the recommendation. Those in favour? Against? Councillor Terrett's against. Nobody else? Right, motion's carried. Oh, hang on. Okay, 15.1, the monthly financial report. A recommendation that we receive and note the monthly financial report for the period ending 30th of April 2026 and authorise budget. No, that's not. That's all right. There's no alterations. Okay, Councillor Adams and Councillor McCullough. Councillor Adams, do you wish to speak?
No, quite straightforward. The budget, it's item 4.
No, there's no changes.
No, that's
Any discussion, questions? Councillor Goss.
Yeah, just in the table which has got about the trade debtors, under dog registration and fines, got got an amount there of $24,692, and it's got a red warning bar beside it. So what does that red warning bar mean to us?
A lot of that is fines that we've sent to the fines enforcement, state government fines enforcement organisation. We find that a lot of those fines are eventually wrote off because they're uncollectible by the Fines Enforcement Authority. So that's why we've highlighted it red, because We may get some, but unlikely we'll get all of them.
Can I get just a bit of an example of what a fine would be? So someone might be.
It might be a dog at large and and we've given them a fine, because they've had a dog, just roaming the streets. Or it might be that they haven't registered their dogs, or it might be because of a dog attack where we've fined them so many penalty points for causing damage or.
We'll just go back to this one. Is that $24,692? Is that what hasn't been paid?
Yes.
Well, that is a fair bit of money, isn't it? So,
And it's over several years.
Several years.
Fines enforcement keep it on their books for a long time.
so it's
It's over several years.
13 years. Thank you. Okay. Next question.
Several.
Several.
Several. 13. Several.
Have a look at the metre fines that we'll pay.
I've got a couple of questions about the waste management, if that's okay now. Well, one question, I suppose. I was just looking at some of those figures there, and I really wanted to know, if I possibly could know this in the future. It's got how much they're taking through at the refuse sites for this year, and it's also got the refuse disposal tonnes. So we've got how much money we took in. It says how many we had to dispose of. I'd like to also now figure how much that disposal cost us. I don't know if we can have another column there included in that report to say that actually how much the disposal cost us. So, for example, we had 1,063 tonnes disposed, but how much did that cost? I'd like to know that. I know how much we got in for it. We got 142,000, but how much did it cost us to dispose of it? So I'd like to know the information. So I'm not sure if in future reports if we get another column added there, that'd be really handy. Thank you.
That would be easier next year because obviously we charge by the tonne. So we charge $202 per tonne. So that'll be a lot easier next year.
But we would know now though what that is.
Yeah, we would know now.
Because we send the refuse into the Launceston City Council. I'm sure they send us a bill. And I was going to mention one other thing. I did mean to mention as well. The green waste, it's over doubled in size in one year. We haven't had a full year yet. I just wondered if that was a really high figure. I wonder whether is that more than usual. Is there a reason why we got such a high figure this year compared to last year?
I'm not aware of any reason, but I do know that there was a fair pile there. And if you have been up to the waste transfer station, the improved waste transfer station recently, we have chipped a lot of the on-site waste there, green waste there, and we've used that as a barrier around the site. And we have recently negotiated with the fire brigade to use some of our green waste as training for them. So we are looking at ways that we can minimise it. We're also using some of our own waste because we now keep clean waste in a separate pile so that we can possibly use it back on our parks and that sort of thing.
What a sensible thing to do.
Yes. Any further questions about the financial report? Yes.
Just in relation to Ashby Road reconstruction, where we budgeted 1.5 million, the actual was 2.2 million. It says it's completed. Is there any reason why it went over so much? Was there a specific cause?
Unfortunately, the works management's not here tonight, but I understand they didn't intend to seal the last section until after winter for the next financial year, but because of the weather was so good, we decided to seal it. It was probably a good decision because it'd probably be a lot dearer next year.
All right, I'm going to put that recommendation. All those in favour? Against? Carried. I'll just let everybody who's listening to the audio that we're going to now break for our meal break, and we'll come back to closed council, so we'll close off the open council.
Excused. There's only one issue in closed council. I'll go. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Thank you.
Well, there is an update.
I'll talk to you. Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about.
The update.
I'll hang. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
stay.
So everybody who doesn't need to be here is going to have to go. Okay. Thank you for attending.